to say welcome to the Mindful 24. We're excited to be here again. Um, it's a new challenge for us. We are now going live, and it's important we go live because we want people to be able to get information as quick as possible. Today, I will just shed light and I will just speak briefly on the ideas and processes of changing patterns, changing behaviors. So I find that as I was growing up in life, like um, people would just tell you, oh, change this, change that, but they never tell you like how to change your behavior. They never tell you like how to change what they are saying you should change. They just say change this and change that. And for me, that's like a big one. Many people don't know. People are like, oh, I am this person, but I don't like this person that I am because it's causing harm, and I want to change to a different personality because I feel like it's gonna be better if I change to this different personality. Um, and many people go through that challenge. I go through that. I've gone through that process in life. I think everyone should go through that process in life because um, that way you'll be able to appreciate informations when you find them. That is, even if you find those informations like I'm giving right now, and also that is if you pay attention to the information. So it's one thing to, yes, know that you want to change a particular behavior or pattern. It's one thing to know that, but also it's another thing to know the processes to changing that behavior or pattern. And I think I did a series one time where I posted on Facebook that as regards becoming a better person, knowing how to change what you are to what you desire. It's not an easy job. It's a difficult one. It takes days, it takes weeks, it takes months, it takes years. But it starts from one day, it starts from today, it starts from tomorrow, making that action and making that steps and following this process I will be sharing with you because it's very important that you listen to me when I'm speaking because that way you'll be able to understand and grasp what I'm actually saying. So, how do you change patterns? I'm a growing young boy, I'm a growing young girl, I'm a teenager, I'm a youth, I'm a young adult, I'm an adult, and I want to change a particular pattern. How do I change the pattern? What do I do to change the pattern? It's it's not rocket science, it's possible. So how do you go about changing patterns in your life? First of all, you have to write down what you desire, those behaviors you desire to be like. You need to write them down. And you don't have to be writing too many things. You can, if you have too many behaviors you want to become, you can take them one step at a time, and that way it would help you to be able to get to your destination as regards becoming the better person that you should become. So write down these behaviors. You could write three, you could write down two, but just pop them down, like just note them down on the jotter, jot them down, and just, okay, these behaviors I want. This is the behaviors I want, not the ones you want to change, the ones you want, the ones you want. And then when you document this behavior and say this is the behavior I want, what you now have to do going forward is you now have to begin to work towards these behaviors. So let's assume you you not great when it comes to handling conversations, and you want to be a guy that handles conversations, hold conversations, your your change goal is to be a better person when it comes to conversations. How do you get there? Simple. First of all, you write it down. I want to be a better person in change in holding conversations with people, male, females, friends, whatever they may be. So acquaintances, just I want to be able to hold information, hold conversations with people and not destroy the conversation, but actually have a smooth conversation with people and they would enjoy it, and myself, I would enjoy it as well. So how do you go about that? First of all, you have to write it down. So you need to note, jot down that quality that you desire. Jot it down saying, okay, I want to be a better converser. I want to be a better communicator. I want to communicate properly. And what I share with you applies in other areas. Now, I do not take out the spirituality of change, and I would not want to take out the spirituality of change in people's life, or the spiritual processes to change in people's life, of changing patterns in people's life. No, I do not want to take that out. For me, I'm looking at this aspect, the mental and the soulish aspect as well. And so, yes, it may touch a bit of spirituality, but there's a level of spirituality you need to go deeper with to be able to experience that transformation in other type of areas. But if you're looking at transforming your mind, changing patterns and behaviors, I bet you what I'm giving you is one of the best things you could ever get in life. So take it and value it. So you now have to write it down. When you write it down, you now have to walk towards it. You could write it down in the place where you know you remember all the time, maybe on the wall, maybe just in front of your wardrobe, or maybe in your jotter, or maybe in your purse or your wallet. You write it down, write them down. It shouldn't be more than three. Write them down. Why I say it shouldn't be more than three, so that you'll be able to walk towards it carefully, judiciously, and not have a long list of things that you're never going to meet up with. So you write them down. When you write them down, you now begin to walk towards it. You have to begin to get information. That is the next thing you do. You begin to get information. Okay, so what do I need next? I've written it down. This is what I want. What else do I need? You also need to get information. Now, don't forget, you also need to write down that person you are currently are that you do not like. You also need to write that down as well. So this is what I want. This is who I am. This is what I want, point 2. This is who I am. This is what I want, point 3. This is who I am. You need to write those things down. So write what you want to become, write who you are currently. Write what you want to become, write out who you are currently. And then you now have to say, okay, so what do I need to become a better communicator, to become a better person when it comes to holding conversations? First of all, you need to get information, because subjects is what gives flavor to conversations. When you don't know what to speak about, or you cannot respond to what has been communicated to you, then that conversation will go sour. And if you've not trained yourself to be able to manage conversations, even when you don't have the information of the subject on the table, then the best bet is for you to go out there and get information. So you need to go out there, get information. You need to begin to go through resources. Try as much as possible to read even if it's 5 pages of a book a day. Try as much as possible to read. And you read, when you read, you'll be able to grasp information, subject matters that you can also present and bring before the table. Now, I was not a good reader. Like when I mean good reader, I mean I was not so interested about reading in my growing up. But at some point in my life, when I was in the uni, I now realized that I had to read. Even before I left, even before I got into uni, I just picked up the habit of reading because now I needed information. I was at a point in my life where I needed information and I was going all out for it. I went all out for it. I picked informations. I read and read and read. I had some subjects that I stayed away from because of my orientation at that point in time, but I did not stop going out for the informations I knew I could handle at that point in time. And so fast forward many years down the line after uni, I now I'm going out to those informations that I didn't want to go out to. Not because those informations are bad, but because I wasn't ready for them at that point in time. I went out for those informations and I'm devouring them. I'm reading them, I'm chewing them, and I'm enjoying them. And they've helped me in life. So even when I hold the conversations with people, or when I hold conversations with people, they're amazed as to how I hold a conversation. It is not rocket science. It is something good. It is something that can be achieved. I think you can achieve it as well. And if you follow these processes, you're going to achieve it. So I'm just giving you an example. So if you take a cue from this, take a lead from this, that, okay, I want to be a better communicator. I want to be able to hold conversations. What do? Write it down first. What I want to become, opposite what I want to become, and what I am. So what I want to become slash what I am. Now, how do I become what I want to become? What do I need to become what I want to become? A better communicator, I want to become, get informations, read books, listen to podcasts, get into the radio, listen, know what's happening. Just hear, play around with informations. Yeah, just keep listening to what is happening, keep listening to what is happening. Read books. You don't have to read all the books in the world. You just have to read a couple of informations in the book. You could go and read a summary of the book. Yeah. And then you have an idea of what the book is really talking about. And then you already have an information to discuss about in case that thing is brought up tomorrow. I bet you don't want to be a loser when it comes to giving up, when it comes to talking on subject that is being brought to the table or that is placed on the table. I bet you don't want to be that type of a loser. So you have to go out there, get this information, read books, watch different programs just to understand what they are saying and have subjects to talk about. Now, when you now do that, now is the time where you begin to engage. You can also engage. So, how do you engage? You can engage by writing down your thoughts, and then you can write down your thoughts. If you don't write down your thoughts, you can now meet somebody and have a chit chat with the person. Chat with the person, talk about those things you've read, those things you've listened to, and that way you begin to build yourself and build yourself to be a better communicator, to be able to hold conversations. If you don't have somebody to communicate with, to share these informations with, the best bet is for you to write them down. Document. That is what I was doing. As I began to go out for informations, I started writing. I would write down thoughts. I would write down information. I would write down what I learned or what I got from that book that I read, what I got from that information I listened to, that radio, that movie, that whatever it may be, what I got from it. And that was how I transformed myself to become a better communicator. Now you may stammer at one point in time, you may stutter at one point in time when you're having conversations with people. You may sometimes be puzzled, what are they trying to say or what have they said? Fine and good. That's normal. You can ask them to rephrase themselves, or you say, oh, can you better explain yourself? That's fine for you to be able to understand. Now, another thing you should understand is you should have a dictionary in your phone or as your friend. Have a dictionary as your friend, because that way you'll be able to research informations, word phrases, and be able to know what that information carries or what that information is saying or the meaning of that information. And that way you can speak to a matter tomorrow despite you lacked the information or the meaning of that information yesterday or today. So go all out for these informations. You document them. The more you document, the more they stick to you. Or you have a conversation with somebody if that person is available and that person is willing to have that chat with you. Or else, best bet you document and you jot your thoughts down. So basically, that is how and that is the way to go about building yourself or changing. That is what I would call as the process to the idea and the processes of changing patterns like behaviors. I'll come back next time and I would have a chat with you about how to attract people that you desire. It's pretty easy, it's not difficult, it's a process. It doesn't happen in a snap, but you can do it. I'll see you next time. I care about you. Bye. Keep watching the Mindful 24 and don't fail to subscribe, share, and like our videos. Please, we need those info. We need your efforts as well. Thank you very much and